Alright, so Ted Anderson, did you make it in okay? Yeah, as best as I could possibly have found such and such a dismal place. Okay, well, I'm terribly sorry that it's been difficult for you, but as you know, the questions must go on. Fantastic. No, please do continue in your, line of questioning. That's gonna go absolutely nowhere. Well, okay. So I have with me Ted Anderson, the Hedgehog, as you will, from the Holy Grail War. He's going to be entertaining us this evening. And he's going to be doing a live reading, actually, from Chapter 12. Indeed, it's a terribly, terribly dreadful place, as he so fashionably likes to call it. Well, that's certainly a prick-like way to explain that. Okay. Alright, so, Ted, what is, let's start with something relatively lighthearted, shall we? So, say there's a zombie apocalypse coming. Which 3 people do you want to find yourself surviving with? Well, if there's a zombie apocalypse, I want to surround myself with the 3 people I would trust the most, which is no one. So I would not want to survive with anyone because you couldn't really trust them to not stab you in the back. Of course, sure, people have their uses, and you may be able to use some people as bait, but that's about the extent of it. Now, the tragedy of the matter is when you find yourself not trusting others, you yourself become untrustworthy. And people are very sensitive to that. And I don't trust people, nor should people consider myself to be trustworthy. Well, you certainly speak from the heart now. It's like funny. Thought I was talking from my mouth, but that shows you what I know about anatomy. Okay. Alright, well, what is your favorite food? I don't really have one. It all tastes the same, really. It doesn't taste like anything. You give me some pumpkin pie, load it with sugar. Can't taste it. Give me coffee or tea. It doesn't matter. It does the same thing. Goes out the same way. Usually ends up, swirling around in a toilet somewhere, or down in a lake if I can't find somewhere close enough. But it does the same thing. It's just tasteless. It doesn't taste like anything. So how long have you not been able to taste anything? Honestly, you gotta start losing track after things like that. After 8 years or so. But about 8 years ago was when I last stopped tasting things. Do you care to talk about what happened? That led you to not tasting anything? I don't really want to talk about that. Really, the less you know about that, the better. Truly. You really don't want to know. especially with people's personal expectations on the land in which one lives. It might shatter your faith in the system, as it were. Okay. So what did you have for breakfast this morning, Ted? Same thing I have for breakfast every morning. Tears of modern sadness. Same thing every morning. Now, truth be told, I don't really eat breakfast in the morning. It's probably like the only real meal that I can think of myself having, but it's usually about half an hour after I go to bed. Usually wake up screaming, as it were. Screaming. And, Ted, what are you screaming for? Well, I'm screaming for the same thing I scream for every night. Help when there is none. Well, that certainly is unsettling, isn't it? Don't you find it to be unsettling? I find it to be really unsettling. You see, this particular, the reason why you scream for help is you start having nightmares after some time and not getting those issues resolved with. Now, of course, when you're dealing with these particular nightmares, you can only see the same thing over and over again before it starts invading your day life. Now, I can't tell you how many times I've been on public transit on the MBTA station driving around Boston. I just start seeing things in my nightmares that I'd rather not discuss, but I often have to fight the urge of screaming my freaking head off in the middle of the day. And it gets harder. It gets harder. It doesn't really get any better. It doesn't get any better at all. Okay. Well, I've got one last question here, and then we'll let you go on and read, because it's a relatively longer section from last week that you've decided that you wanted to read, but if you could eliminate one thing from your daily routine, what would it be? To eliminate one thing. Well, there's only one thing I can think to eliminate. Waking up. I close my eyes and immediately toss back into this superficial nightmare that goes absolutely nowhere. Over and over again. And when I wake up, it doesn't stop. See, the difference between your nightmares and mine is that when you wake up, it ends. For me, that's not an option. It invades the solace of everyday life. And you can't run from it. You can't escape from it. The monsters and demons not hiding underneath my bed or inside my closets. How fortunate would I be if they were even that far away? No. Truly, I tell you that I'd be fortunate. But they're running amok inside my head. How can you run from that? Well, as provocative as others, so like I said, this is a little bit of a longer section now, so why don't we just go ahead and have you read it.